Easter Benton, Rabbi Goyen, Rabbi Chassid, Rabbi Leo Matasov Shlita, Chaber Mareches Eitzel Achsidim, Rav Mechaber Sforim, zu beoidet sein, machazig sein, bei gelernen die Unionen von Gula Moshiach, und im Sefer Dvar Malchus, v'chulu, Harav, und Leo Matasov, bitte. הרב ידבר בלשון הקודש עבור לקהל הישראלי.
יש רק עולמים, אז אני מדבר רק איזה דקות, אז לא משנה כמה זה comfortable, כמה זה נוח. נגיד משהו. אלה שלומדים הספר, יש דבר ראשון, יש מהרבי, הרבי אומר, דברי תורה, הרבי לא רוצה, המים החז"ל הוא דברי תורה עניים במוקם אחד והשירים במוקם אחר. הרבי לא, כמה פעמים ראיתי במכתבים של הרבי, לא רצה להשתמש, זה מורה לנו על לא שנקיה, דברי תורה עניים, אז הרבי כתב דברי תורה חולו במוקם אחד והשירים במוקם אחר. זאת אומרת, אבל המים החז"ל הוא דברי תורה עניים במוקם אחד. אבל הרבי לפעמים ניסה לא לבטא את המילה הזאת. דברי תורה עניים, עניות עם דברי תורה זה לכאורה לא... כשלומדים על דבר מלכוס, כמו כל שיחות של הרבי, אז כמה נשאר דקה אחת, אז יש דברים שמפורש ויש דברים שצריכים ללמוד בעיון. יש למשל פה סימן יוחס על הקיצי, והרבי מבאר סטירס ברמב"ם, במילא נבוכים, יש סתירות בכל הראשונים, ברמב"ם, ברס"ג, כי מצד אחד הגמרא אומרת שאסור לחשב קיצים, טיפח רוחו של מחש וקיצים. יש מדרש שאין חלק ללומד, יש דברים, לומדים את זה מהפסוק בדניאל, ומצד שני יש הראשונים באותו זמן שכתבו נגד אחרים שכתבו קיצים, כמו הרמב"ם כותב נגד הרס"ג באיגרס דיימון, והוא בעצמו אחר כך מסיים באיזה קץ ששמע מאבותיו, ומוצאים את זה בהרבה ראשונים. מצד אחד הם טוענים על האחרים שכתבו והם בעצמם כותבים קיצים, והרבי מפלפל בזה הרבה, והרבי מבאר כמה ביורים. בספר הזה כל אחד יוכל למצוא כמה ביורים. ביור אחד הוא צריך להגיד, ביור אחד שמיוסד, זה מיוסד בעצם על הרמב"ם, שהוא לימד זכות על הרס"ג ואמר שמתי אסור לגלות, זה סתם אחד עושה דרשה ורוצה לגלות. הרס"ג, רב סעדיה גאון, ראה בימיו שמתחלשת האמונה וקוראים דברים שהיהודים מתחילים להיות בנמיכת רוח, אז הוא היה צריך, אז יש לפעמים כמו הוראת היתר לצורך הדור. והרבי מוסיף, אם אחד לא יודע הסדר של אביידס הבירורים או משהו, אין לו מה להיכנס לזה, אבל אלה שכן יודעים את כמה ניצוצס וכמה כל הסדר של אביידס הבירורים, הם כן יכולים להיכנס בקיצור. אבל מה שרציתי להגיד, שהרבי לא כותב את זה מפורש, אבל אם נלמוד בעיון, אז נתרץ הרבה שיחות שיתאימו אחד לשני. כי באמת גם הצמח צדק, יש דבר פלא, בעירתי לנח קפ"ג, הוא מביא למר בעמיס הוא שולם אין קץ, אז למר בעמיס הוא במם סתומו, מם סופית, וזה, אז הוא מביא מהבחי, שזה רומז על הקץ, והבחי כשמביא את הפסוק הזה, הוא הוא אומר קץ על שנת קוף צדיק חס. אז, וזה קץ, האמת היא שגם הרמב"ן כתב את זה. והצמח צדק מאוד מאוד חולק על בחיים. והוא כותב שם שקשה לזכור הלשון, אז דבר הזה ניקח חצי דקה לקרוא הלשון של...
Letzter Better, Yedid Nafshi, Rabbi Shalom Zirkind Shlita, was kocht sich, Benjamin Moshiach v'Geula, Keseder, beschreibt der Oris und Benjamin Moshiach v'Geula, v'Chulu, zu sagen ein paar Werte, zu Machazig sein der Oilam, wegen Bären wegen Moshiach, und kochen sich in Moshiach. Und wie jeder, was ist Aduk Machaye, in der Minen zu beide sein wegen dem.
Yiddish, English, Hebrew?
English. One English speaker.
Okay, one of many Chiddush.
One English speaker. One English speaker.
Okay, the Rebbe speaks in there's a Sikha, famous Sikha. I don't know if I just use this term famous, everything is relative, but the Rebbe, there's a Sikha of the Rebbe. It was during the court case of the Sfarim, Tavshim and Vav. The Sikha was later Mugar and printed in Kutei Sichas Chelek Lamed, Vitas Kislev. The Rebbe asked her a question. The Rebbe says that you know that Alter Rebbe was sitting in prison because Lamaila, above, there was a Kitrug on the revelation of Chassidus. And the Kitrug was so serious that Alter Rebbe himself had a doubt if he should continue teaching Chassidus. When, as the story goes, the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid revealed themselves, came down to the Alter Rebbe in his prison cell, and the Alter Rebbe asked them if why is he sitting in prison? So they said because this Kitrug above, why is he revealing so much Chassidus? So the Alter Rebbe asked if he should stop. And they said, no, you shouldn't stop. On the contrary, when you go out, you should reveal even more. So the Rebbe asks a simple question. The Rebbe says that many years before that, in the time of the Pincha of the Maggid of Mizrich, there was also a similar story. There was Pincha's Karitza once visited the Maggid, and he came out from the bathroom holding a page of Chassidus. And the Rebbe realized right away that Pinchas Karitza didn't look very happy, and he realized that Pinchas Karitza had a strong kpeda, was having a, however you translate that in English, he wasn't very happy with what he saw. He felt that the Maggid is teaching too much Chassidus to the extent that a piece of Chassidus should end up in the bathroom. So I think the Lashon is brought to another place that the Maggid's life was partially in danger because of this kpeda. There was a big kitrug based on that. And the Alter Rebbe saved the day. The Alter Rebbe told Pinchas Karitza, the famous Moshe that everyone knows of the son of the king, the prince, that became very sick. And the doctors at one point said that the only thing that would heal the king's son is if they take the crown jewel of the king and they grind it up and they mix it with water, and the lips of the king's son was already tight, he was shut tight due to his fever or whatever, and to try to pour, if even one drop will get in, perhaps that will save his life. So the king took the crown jewel and mixed it to grind. It was ground, it was mixed with water, and one drop of managed to get in, which saved the king's life. And the nimshal was, and the lesson was, the application of the mashal was that the Yidden are the Ben Yochid of the Eibush, and the Eibush's son, the crown prince, and because of the length and severity of Golos, they're spiritually insensitive. And therefore, the only thing that could help is that the king should take the deepest secrets, the revelation of Chassidus, and it should come down in some form of understanding and some mixed with water, with some understanding explanation, that if at least one drop will go into the mouth of the Yidden, will revive them, will refresh them, and give them the koyach to overcome Golos, to reveal their connection with Eibishter. And Pinchas Karitza understood the point, in other that even if so much Chassidus is revealed, that even some ends up in the garbage, in the bathroom, it's all kedai, it's all worth it, for that drop that goes into the king's, the son of the king's mouth. And save his life, yeah. So the question was, if the Alter Rebbe already was a Kitrug L'mayla against revelation of Chassidus many years before, during the lifetime of the Maggid. And Alter Rebbe took away the Kitrug through this Moshel. So what was the Alter Rebbe sitting in prison for? What was this new Kitrug all about? And the Rebbe explains that there's two ways of revealing Chassidus. There's a revealing Chassidus the way the Maggid did, the Baal Shem Tov did, which is a drops. A little bit, the main point is that a drop gets into the mouth. They revealed Chassidus in a way of the Kudus Ktsaris, small vertflach, small ideas that were very potent, were very powerful, very permeated with Holocaust. They weren't necessarily so much understood by the common people, but it was the potency, the spiritual energy that was in them that was able to refresh and revive the neshama of every Yid. The Alter Rebbe, through his explanation to Rabbi Shalom to the Maggid, brought about the Lamayla. They should give an okay for that type of revelation of Chassidus. But the Alter Rebbe went much further. The Alter Rebbe didn't just reveal Chassidus as vertflach. The Alter Rebbe revealed Chassidus in a way that it should be understood by Havana Ba'asaga. The Alter Rebbe explained it from beginning to end, from A to Z, with full-fledged explanations. This was already something new. This wasn't necessary in order to save the Yidden in Galus. The Yidden, in order to give them some chizuk in Galus, it's enough. Chassidus in the way of vertflach. What the Alter Rebbe was doing was paving the way for Moshiach. The Alter Rebbe was explaining Chassidus that the hearts and minds of the Jewish people should be permeated with ideas of Chassidus, that this should prepare them for Moshiach. So there was a new Kitrug, but the Alter Rebbe went them much further. But the Alter Rebbe wanted to know if he should stop. Maybe Taka, maybe this wasn't the Kavanah, but they told him, no, you have to continue. And what was Mugay at that time, obviously, was understood that the Rebbe was taking the revelation of Chassidus, the spreading of Yiddishkeit to a much greater level, and there was a new Kitrug. But the point that I want to say, but that is just my personal application. You're welcome to disagree, it's no problem. But I think when it comes to learning the Yonah Golden Mashiach as well, there's two ways. There's one way, you do it with a vertel. You know, you used to have a daily dose, an injection of some hope and some energy about Mashiach, which gives us the ability, Taka, to overcome Galus, to go through the day. But then, Sof Kol Sof, the Rebbe wanted, it's not just that we should have a little dose and an injection, a glass of coffee in the morning, some daily, inspiration. The Rebbe wants that we should live with Mashiach. We should prepare ourselves for the coming of Mashiach in a very internalized way. For that's a different story. That's not enough. A little vertel, a shear. If you don't mind, I'm not saying this has to show up to belittle anything. It's just a shear once a week. You come to eat some Danishes and orange juice, the Mashiach cookies and the Mashiach juice. It's very good. Tavi alecha bracha, but nicht mit them. That's a place feeling the kavanah. That's not exactly how your mind and your heart will be permeated with Mashiach. Your heart and mind will be permeated through Mashiach. There's one road. It's a long and short road. It's Chassidus is a derech k'tzara baruch. There's a small vertel that gets you inspired and you go through the day, but you're not there. You get excited. Chassidus Chabad, you should understand it. You should permeate your mind and your heart, and then derech haruch k'tzara, you're there. The learning of Mashiach and Gula has to be in a way that this becomes the way you think, the way how you feel, what's on your mind, the thing that you're learning, the eon, when you wake up and there's always something that you're troubled with. Some people it's trouble with a bocher, at least some of the crowd, most of the crowd, the bocher, they learn Torah, so there's this. You should think about Mashiach. And we mentioned before the Rebbe's letter that the Rebbe had a vision of Mashiach. As a small child, the Rebbe was envisioning Mashiach. When you learn about Mashiach, you should have a vision of what does Mashiach mean to me. Now the Rebbe says, in the Sicha Parshas Chayesara Tavshalom Beis, the Rebbe speaks about teaching and learning about Mashiach, Boifen HaMeskabel. We have these great debates. They have these great debates of Boifen HaMeskabel. Means, but in my humble opinion, Boifen HaMeskabel first and foremost means something very simple. Boifen HaMeskabel means the Mashiach should be relevant. It should be relevant. You can have someone that's very fired up about Mashiach. But if you ask him to try to explain to somebody else why he should want Mashiach, and he's at a loss of words. Why? Because the energy is there, the chayas is there, but the Havana B'Hasaga, the Chachma Bina Das, as the Rebbe says in that same paragraph, is missing. So it's important that when we learn about Moshiach, you know, it's very flach and daily dose, Baruch Hashem, there's plenty of. And I'm not Chas v'Shalom trying to be Mizalzim, but at the same time, it's important to internalize the message of living and learning about Moshiach in a way of, it's a little bit, you need a little bit more zitzfleish. It's not so exciting, it's not just a daily dose, daily boost. You need to sit and learn, and it might be a little, challenging, but eventually it helps change your mind, how you think and you feel, and it makes you live with Moshiach. Rabbi Shalom was once bringing, and he was trying to bring out a point. He said he once asked the Bacher, which chassidus do you learn? So the Bacher told him that for his avodas Hashem, he learns my Maram of the Fidik Rebbe. And for his kashrus, he learns my Maram of the Rebbe. So Rabbi Yoel was analyzing this a little bit, and he says, this doesn't make any sense, please. I mean, he didn't use these words. I'm just trying to, he said, this doesn't make any sense. What does this kashrus mean? Skashus doesn't mean I close my eyes, sing the nig and Rebbe, so there. Skashus means that when you're connected with the Rebbe is your way to that. The Rebbe is the one that's guiding you. You feel that the Rebbe is the one that's, there was a big chassid, the G'dei Chassid, I'm not going to mention his name, of the Rebbe Rashab, who Chassidim said he was not Mekusha to the Fidik Rebbe. I mean, it happened, he was one of the Chassidim that was shot by the KGB, and the way the story goes, a little while before that, Chassidim in Russia heard that the Fidik Rebbe, Begashmis, his health wasn't so well, and the different Chassidim started giving years of their life, donating years of their life to the Fidik Rebbe, and this Chassid said he's giving away his whole life. And he was shot a little while later. So this Chassid wasn't the time that he's not a Mekusha to the Fidik Rebbe, he's a Mekusha to the Rebbe Rashab. So his son, he was bothered by the fact that Chassidim speak about his father, he's not a Mekusha. So he asked his father, he said, why aren't you a Mekusha? He says, listen, he says, I tried, I sat and learned to my mother the Fidik Rebbe, but I didn't connect. I really tried, and it wasn't. So his son realized that being Mekusha is not just, about the association, the affiliation, but being Mekusha for a chassid of that caliber meant that you connected. This is my Rebbe. This is who I feel is guiding me, my avodas Hashem. Getting back to what I was saying before, so when it comes to learning Yom Nigul Mashiach, a lot of people, they sometimes say, we should learn the Shemus Kashas. Do I really feel Mashiach is coming? Maybe not, maybe yes. But it's Kasha. Rebbe wants me to learn Yom Nigul Mashiach, so learn Yom Nigul Mashiach. That's very important. Obviously, that's the beginning. But not just the beginning. Ultimately, Iskashos means that the way the Rebbe's vision of life, the way the Rebbe looks at things, that becomes my vision. The Rebbe's vision of the world is Mashiach. No question about it. So if you want that the Rebbe's vision should become your vision, and it's not enough just to learn L'Shem Iskashos, it has to permeate the way how you think and you feel. There's another point that I think is Gael Hanal as well. There's a Sikha of the Rebbe explains, it's multiple ways of explaining the Sikha. The Sikha Tazriya Mitzayr, the good Sikha is Chelach of Beis. And the Rebbe explains over there, there's multiple layers, dimensions anticipating Mashiach. And the Rebbe says that one way which is the Rebbe doesn't give too much credibility to it, is that a Jew knows that Mashiach will eventually come, but it doesn't mean anything to him. He's busy with his avodas Hashem, with his learning Torah, but it's all good and fine. Eventually Mashiach will come. The Rebbe B'chal, that's not up to discussion, more or less. Then the Rebbe went a little further. The Rebbe said there is sometimes that a Yid knows that his avodas Hashem leads to Mashiach. But in that itself, there's two ways it could be. One way is you tackle learn and you know that you're learning and your avodas Hashem will bring Mashiach. But soft the person feels that that's stage 2. There's stage 1. There's my learning. There's my davening. And then there's B'nai I also I know that this will bring to Mashiach, so that maybe gives me more enthusiasm. But what is my life? My Torah, my mitzvahs. A deeper thing is that a person, there's no bridge, there's no gap. You're learning Torah, your mitzvahs, that itself is Mashiach. You realize, you understand what is Mashiach. Mashiach, the shleimus ha-Torah v'ha-mitzvahs. crisis, you realize that your avodas Hashem is not something separate that leads to Mashiach, but you're permeated with the awareness that this itself is Mashiach. Same thing when it comes, a lot of times we have, whatever we're doing, and we try to add a Mashiach connection. That's like, you have the first course, the second course, the third course, and then for dessert, you'll add Moshiach, that comes at the end. It's there, it's on the menu, no question about it. It's not only that, it's a dessert, but the Rebbe doesn't want Moshiach to be the dessert. It doesn't mean you shouldn't learn niggle, you shouldn't learn chassidus, but your breakfast, lunch, and supper should be permeated with Moshiach. How do you do that? One thing, I can't give you all the answers, but I think definitely the beginning is, and probably the end and the middle as well, all begins with, you learn Mashiach, and you learn Mashiach beyond, this is what you're thinking about, this is the vision that you have, this changes your mind and your heart. This is the Nekuda B'Pashtus. I don't know who I'm talking to really. I mean, the point is that every person on their own has what they need to do to learn more about Mashiach. Because obviously there's most people there more in the kav of learning, of limud, those bachram that are shaykh to learn, they should make one achlata toivet, I don't know if it's shaykh to everyone, they should learn the whole book. Until next Simchas Torah, in Yerushalayim Abnuya, you should finish the whole Dvar Malchus, at least the first part, at least the Mugga de Gesichas. If you're able to do more, you're able to learn the Bilti Mugga, Matayv Manoim. So I would just point out that in the Sefer, it's always good to look up the Mekoides, because the Sefer and the Bilti Mugga is usually brought more Bekitzer, right? If you don't have any time. Sorry, if I mentioned that, if you want to learn more Barichas, you could do, but if you take a sugya, learn it through, think about it, and it should affect how you think, how you feel. And I think a lot of, if I may say, a lot of the questions that people have, and a lot of the, so to say, issues that come about regarding Mashiach is because there's a big lack of Yisoidistic learning about Non-Nigol Mashiach. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, enthusiasm, but when there's a vacuum of understanding of basic sitting and learning the sources from A to Z, and I can make a commercial over here. I have Google Drive, it's called MashiachLinks.com, and if you know how to find it, you'll see, you go to the main website, there's a regime of different Sfarim on Mashiach, there's different things, different resources about Mashiach. But if a person sits and learns the Mekoides from Yisoidistic, then it shapes his mind. It's not just, Mashiach doesn't turn anymore into some type of fantasy or a la-la land or something that's regulated to the realm of Amunah alone, but it's something that permeates his way of understanding, and it helps him internalize it as Yisoidistic. And those people that are shy to learn something beyond and to write it up, I would just mention, I don't know whoever's going to listen to the speech anyway, but when anyone is shy after that, there's a great need for taking Poshet and Yonim of Bula Mashiach and collecting them together. Kvishem, as the Rebbe said in the Sikha, Teresh of Iksav, Teresh of Alpeh, Befratim, and what the Sikhas of Kudei Sikhas of Nesidah Reinish, Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Zagri did. There's also Poshet, Teresh of Iksav, and Teresh of Alpeh. For a lot of people outside of Lubavitch, it's very important to bring Mekoides that they relate to, which say more or less also that you need to await Mashiach, and in their world, B'chlal, to us, by Lubavitches, what to us is a Davar HaPoshet, there's certain communities that are Poshet afraid of Mashiach. There's communities outside Chabad that they're afraid. To them, Mashiach means Chabli Mashiach and Goyim Mogi, Goyim Hadin. Now, it's not an understanding that's not based on Torah. It's obviously based on Torah, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done to bring the concept of Mashiach, the Eifen of Chokmah Bina Das, in a way that it should be relatable to ourselves. That's first of all, when we have it relatable to ourselves, to try to find the Oisius and the Asbaras, which is all found in Torah, if you look hard enough, to be able to explain it to someone else. I think the point is self-understood. I hope so, at least by now. So we should all become more serious about learning on the goal of Mashiach, and we should be Zeicha, showing the Tzait, more than showing the Tzait. Allowing a Tzait that we should have this godless of Mashiach, and the Rebbe speaks about the fetish of Malchus, goes to Netzach Sheba Malchus, yeah, Malchus Sheba Teferes and Malchus Sheba Netzach, you know, Netzach Sheba Malchus, exactly will correct me. It's in the Adriya Mitzayah, the Rebbe speaks about that's a spheres. So we should have Hilchim L'chemes Havai V'Natzeach, as Rebbe spoke in this Leil Simcha Stera Tavshim HaMizayin, B'Ofen Nisi Shel Ma'alim V'Natevel L'Gamri, V'Oisel Hashem HaMelucha, so Potover, name of Namo from the Golos. And the Ikir is that we should have this Galus now, but we shouldn't come and we won't know what's flying. You know, there was a if I could say, again, I'll just repeat what I said before in other words, it was a kid's tape that they used to listen to. They had a song, the whole mice, not going to go to the mice, the song was, when the Rebbe comes, what do? You follow the plan, What's the plan? No one knows, but we know that you follow the plan, right? So you all know Moshiach is coming. As they say in Hebrew, what's going to happen by Yom Shacharei? Okay, I know Moshiach is coming, I'm ready. What happens the next day? Am I ready for that? So the Rebbe wants that it shouldn't just be, we should be ready, that, you know, when he's already here, we should, you know, the transition shouldn't be so, we shouldn't have to like rub our eyes and try to figure out what's going to happen. We should be ready to make the step smoothly and easily. Maybe should help, should happen, b'chesed u'berachmin, und so sein, alle Brachas, Hamuris b'parshem, das heißt a Bracha, so sein Betach Bode, den Yaakov, and all the Sini Yisrael, the Moshiach should take care of them, as only he knows how to do it, just like take it from me, Agmar. Yeah, Kumuva and the Choderesh, you should start with the Sefer. Yeah, that was not understood. When you finish with it, there's plenty more work to do.
Größe der Shekoyach, Rav, Agoin, Rabbi Shalom Zirkind Shlita, Behenshich, to what Rabbi Zirkind mentioned from the Sikha the Rebbe, from the Sikha Chelik Lamed, Yudas Kislev. There's another Gavaldik word in that Sikha in the Rambam that the Rebbe brings out, which Ulay Shleimar, it can be Negel in Yonenu also. The Rebbe says, the Rambam writes, that B'Yomeis HaMashiach Olam Kimenhagei Noyeg. The world is going to be running the same way it's running now. There'll be no difference. Al Yad Al Alev B'Yomeis HaMashiach Yiftal Davar Mimenhagei Shel Olam Ayeh Sham Chirish B'Mayz B'Reishis El Olam Kimenhagei Noyeg. The Rambam speaks over there, B'Negeya, to the Yud of a God is even Keves. And the Rambam says that it's a Mashal V'Chido, Sheyiyu Yisrael Yeshvim Lobetach in Mrishei Goyim, Mrishu Masa'ilom, V'Layigzilu, V'Layashchisu. And this is the way that Rambam learns the Yud of a God is even Keves. But the Rebbe points out over there, the Rambam says in the last halacha, Ba'isei Azman in Yemeis HaMashiach, Lo Yihya Eisei Kol Ha'ilam Ela L'Dasis Hashem B'Vad. The whole occupation, the whole Asik of the whole world, it's not only limud, but Asik means that a person, this is a business, this is what he's constantly looking how to make it bigger and bigger. A guy buys something for $100, he doesn't sell it for $100, he sells it for $200. He wants to make something, he needs to make it bigger. So Yemeis HaMashiach, the Asik of the ganze Welt is going to be Lo Yihya Kol Ha'ilam Ela L'Dasis Hashem B'Vad, like the Rebbe points out, that the Rambam writes, not only that Yihya Asik Kol Ha'ilam L'Dasis Hashem, but the Lo Yihya Kol Ha'ilam Ela L'Dasis Hashem B'Vad. And the Rebbe brings from the Tosfos in Menachos that whenever it says Lo Elo, it means that it's Likua. This is absolutely the only thing that you cannot do any other way, even with the Eved. So in Yemeis HaMashiach, there'll be absolutely nothing besides for the Asik, for the ganze Welt, not only Yidden, but Kol Ha'olam. And what is it going to be? L'das es Hashem B'Vad, to know the Eibishter. And so the Rebbe asks, how does this last halacha fit ASIC, now this guy wants to make another couple of dollars. They have a couple of behemoths in Eretz Yisrael that are looking Rahman al-Islam to kill Yidden. So what sagt man as the ASIC von der ganzen Welt is what? Well, das ist Hashem Bilvat. L'chaira, this is a Shina Menagi Shalom. This is considered a Chiddush B'maisa Bereshis. So the Rebbe explains, Musmen sagen, that before you make some Moshiach, the Eisa Kol HaIlam needs to be L'dasis Hashem Bilvat. Even before the Gula takes place, before you make some Moshiach starts, the Eisa von der ganzen Welt needs to be L'dasis Hashem Bilvat. Therefore, when you make some Moshiach is going to come, it's not going to be considered Bitul Menagi Shalaylam or a Shinui V'chidish V'maisa Bereshis. This is going to be considered Menagi Shalaylam. And like the Rebbe says, that if the Rambam writes, when you get to Yoshka, the Machshav Mev is Zichroi, like the Rambam writes. He's like the Rambam Taka says, Machshav is Beirei Ha'illam, Ein Keach Bodom La'asigom, you can't verstehen, Einish Deswegen, but the Rambam says, and at the end of the day, it's like the Rambam, Kol Advarim Ha'ilu, Shel Yeshua Neitzri, Shel Zayt Yishmeil, Shel Od Acharav, Eilun Elu, Yasher, Derech, L'Malach HaMashiach. It's here to pave a path for Malach HaMashiach, which means even Azad, Dover, Shlili is necessary. Why? The Yasher Derech L'Malach HaMashiach, to make a way for Malach HaMashiach. As the Dad is like the Rambam writes when you get to Eliyahu Hanavi. So why? What do you need Eliyahu Hanavi for? The Yasher Yisrael L'Hachim Libum to prepare the Yidden. There needs to be our Chana, says the Rebbe, if it's so when you get to Eliyahu Hanavi. And Lahavdil when you get to Yoshka, Zicher is that when you get to the Eiser Kol HaIlam, the Indian Ikri of Yemesa Mashiach L'Dasis Hashem Bilvad. You have to say that it needs to be done. There has to be our Chana before. And the Achana is what the Alter Rebbe did to be made for Chassidus and Chazam and Eifin, like the Rebbe points out in Eifin from Kamayim Layom Achasi. The Rambam says that the Asik in the Moshel, in the times of the Magid, you need 8 rubs al Arayim. What was the Magid's kavanah to save the Yidden from being, to pass out from Golis? It's not an 8 rub. Aber eine Grenze Zufall, je meiste Moshiach is the Asik. The Yediyas Hashem, it's ein Versamen Eifin von Kamayim Layom Machasim, not one drop with a Reindenzug in the Vater, and you don't see anything besides for the water. So that's what Alter Rebbe did. So Ula Yeshleimar, but there are Zweite Kudis. Eine Kudis, also when they get to Yilchim, when they get to the Rambam writes in the beginning of that same halacha, va'isei azman l'yesham l'irav l'mulchama. So need zayin kein l'mulchamis in Yemei Mashiach. If you're going to say that you're going to go from Golus to the Geula without any chiluk min akotzel l'chayr, it's considered bitul menagi shalaylam. So l'chayr you have to say that also in Zman HaGolus, in the let's detect from Golus right now, there's no mulchamis. That the Malach HaMashiach is Yilcham Mechamis Hashem Yinatzeach Kol Homish Yisliva, and there should be no more Melchamis and like that. When the Gula Kumt was nicht sein kein Chiddush B'maisa Bereshis, as wird sein Loi Melchama. And especially it's nicht nur people, the way the Rebbe learns in more than one place, that the Pshat in the Pasuk says Lo Yoreyu V'lo Yashchisu V'chol Harikochi Ki Mola Haaretz Deis Hashem Kaman L'Yom Machasim. That there won't be. What's the cause for Lo Yarei V'lo Yashchisu? That the animals won't be Yarei V'yashchisu like the Rambam it's a Mashal, which means what's the reason that the Goyim won't fight with the Yidden? Ki Mola Haaretz Deis Hashem. That the Yediyas Hashem, which the Rebbe says you need to have it already before the Geula, needs to be Vidas V'zayin and Meisa Mashiach. This brings about that there shall be Lo Yarav V'lo Melchama Nachad that lets the tech from Golus.